one of the challenges of this whole movement, and I wrote about it. This is Revolution 2.0. No one was a hero. Everyone is a hero. Like, everyone helped. It was like Wikipedia. Everyone contributed a small thing. That's why I call it the Internet Revolution. That's why I called it Revolution 2.0, because the Internet played a critical role in educating them. They did not listen to whatever BS they were listening to.
What would you like to see other technology companies do? What would you like to see Google support in other countries, Twitter, Facebook, to maybe be a mechanism for some of these changes?
No, I want them to do their job, and people are going to figure it out.
But some people say part of their job is not to be political. Do you think that they have a requirement to be?
Yeah, I agree. I agree that tech companies should not be biased towards anyone. Should not say that, Hosni Mubarak is a dictator, we need to help get rid of him. That's not the role of the tech companies. Tech companies need to be neutral, need to empower people with tools to communicate and collaborate, let the people figure it out.
Is it almost a basic right to be able to have access to technology?
Yeah, of course. And you know what Syria did right away after our revolution?
Turn the switch.
Yeah, they turned the switch. Facebook is no longer blocked. They realize and understand that the moment you are going to frustrate people by blocking their access to tools like that, things are going to get even worse. I said it before, thanks to our regime, because blocking Facebook was one of the strategic mistakes. When they blocked Facebook, they sent the completely wrong message to everyone. They were saying, we are so scared of you, we decided to block Facebook. Everyone who's interested in sitting down and reading the news and not being part of it starts like, I want to know what's going on. I'm going to go to the street. Mm-hmm. So blocking access, I would send a message to dictators. I feel for you. I feel for you. You are scared. You're scared right now, but don't do mistakes. You have to eventually just freak out and step down. That's what you should do as a dictator. That's what you should do, because eventually, I was always saying that this. I said it like 1 year ago. People were making fun of me. Internet will change the political scene in Egypt. I truly believed in it, because the moment they see what's happening in the rest of the world, they see the streets of Zurich, how clean and nice, and how amazing the life is. They wash the streets with soap. And they see Obama sitting down eating a sandwich in a restaurant with not that much of security people around him. They see the president of, I forgot, like probably, in Vienna, in Austria, the president, taking the metro station. They see that stuff, and they're going to get more angry. They're going to see how the real situation away from the propaganda of media. It's really challenging for dictators. I'm not in the position of advising them. I advise the people to speak up, to collaborate together.
Would you advise the new government on speaking out? Is the Supreme Council going to have a Facebook page? How are they going to communicate with the people?
No, it's a bit challenging for the army. The army needs to maintain a sort of like an image. This is the army at the end of the day. We should know these people have been working like this for tons of years. We cannot ask them all of a sudden to change the way they deal with people. But I've asked them, one of the things, please change the way you communicate with people. Try and be more, try and explain more. Don't make it into like very short statements. People want to hear your opinion. People want to hear your stand. But I wouldn't ask them to create a Facebook fan page. I would ask the government. I would ask the Prime Minister to be on Twitter. If you don't understand us, you should not represent us if you don't understand us. You should not be in power if you don't know what the people's passion is, if you don't know what we like and what we don't like. And they were all surprised with whatever we did. That's why at the very beginning they were 100% sure that someone from from a Western government is actually playing this role, or Eastern government playing this role of
manipulating you.
Yeah, manipulating us. And we sort of like prove it, show us. There's nothing. I actually said, dear Western governments, you have been always supporting this regime that was oppressing us for 30 years. Please don't get involved now. That was before Hosni Mubarak collapsed, because we want to send a message that it's us. I don't have a decision now. This is one thing I'm thinking a lot about. My role, I'm thinking a lot about my role, because I already said it before. I don't have any political interests. I don't want to be involved in any government. I did this for the people, and I did not have any personal interests. And I don't want to be, misunderstood that he did all this because he was looking for. I think I sort of like I think I'm 90% done with my job. And, the rest of the 10%, the question is how many days it would take to finish that, which is something I'm thinking about right now.
Your life has changed tremendously, and you've changed this country tremendously. I mean, can you go back to working behind a desk? Can you go back to being in marketing at Google? I
mean, I was working behind the desk most of the time in this revolution. I was
okay, so maybe
fighter.
The desk isn't the issue, but can you go back to just, being Wael of Google instead of Wael of the liberation movement, of the revolution?
I think so. I mean, I don't, as I said, I don't have a decision right now. I have not did my thoughts. I have not consulted with the people I trust. What is very, what I see now as crystal clear, that my role is 90% done.
Does Google support you in this?
Well, they did. They did already. They tweeted an amazing tweet. They said, Ghonim, we're incredibly proud of you. And as a company, Google did an amazing job. When I disappeared, I had sort of a plan on how to tell people. I had someone, a contingency plan, what happens is when I get arrested. The whole company started to move to try and get me out of this. They played a great role in getting me out of this.
You told somebody at Google that you might be arrested?
No. I had someone, a friend of mine, if I disappear, here's what you need to do. You need to wait for 1 week before announcing who am I, the real identity, because if I don't tell them, I don't want them to know. As soon as I disappeared, Google started to do all this press release. They created a phone number. So definitely they support me, and definitely they support the values. Definitely there are two problems. The wages, a lot of people are not being paid. Some people are paid $50, $60 a month, and they're not able to live with that. They have to work 2-3 jobs. They have to borrow money. That's a huge problem that currently there is no solution for it. At the moment, there is no solution for it. The second problem is unemployment. There's 1 million newborn kids in Egypt every 10 months. Those need jobs, education. This is the real challenge as I see, and this is where, as a young movement now, we realize we've completely shifted now our attention. There's a group working on democracy and enforcing it, which is something I'm very optimistic about. I've met with our top army officials, the ones that that basically are controlling.
What was that like?
It was amazing. I personally went out very optimistic. They sent us a lot of positive messages. We were 8 young guys, and 7 guys and 1 girl, and we sat down with them it was supposed to be 1 hour. It ended up becoming almost 3 hours. They were listening to us. They were taking notes. A general in the army, someone who's in control of basically hundreds of thousands of soldiers, which was one of the people sitting down, was taking notes of what we are saying. I want to send a message from what I've seen to the business community, to the international business community, that Egypt is now a great place for investments. I come from a technology background, and I see Egypt has a great future. We can be the Silicon Valley of the region. We have a lot of talents. Yeah, of course.
Do you think Google will come to Egypt and expand because of this?
I can't talk on behalf of Google right now.
I'm sure you'd like it.
But a lot of other companies, including Google, we're all looking at the scene and we're impressed. The business community, especially in the high-tech industry, which is one of those industries that can take Egypt to the next step, where we can be another India when it comes to high-tech.
So did you get a sense from the military, though, that they understood what you're talking about, that need for entrepreneurship? Who are they giving business advice to or getting it from?
So it's not clear for me, but what is clear for me that, as I said, the army coming out and saying, the guy told me, listen, this is the best thing that have ever happened to Egypt since
Who said that?
One person from the Supreme Council.
Wow.
Since the pharaohs. So they are not only on our side. They have a dream. They said that this is your dream, and we don't want to shatter your dream. We had about half an hour discussion about the challenges of how to get people back to work and how to create jobs.
Really?
So they are aware of the problems. Actually, they gave me a lot of information I didn't know about the economy and the challenges and how can we address people and tell them go back to work, even if you are paid $70. This is not the time to get $100 right now. This is the time
to stop the kind of strikes that we've seen for the past 2 days.
Yes,
so they want to make sure those stop.
Yeah, because the country now, if you're patriotic, if you really care about this country, this is not about you anymore. This is about restoring the stability. This is about sending signals to everyone that Egypt is becoming stable.
Do you think the police should get their jobs back? They were marching today.
Yeah, of course. I want because that stabilizes the country. This is the time where we need to think of stability. And so what I believe in, as the moment we start creating this awareness campaign and we tell everyone, they will listen. They will listen. Currently, they are just protesting out of personal sake. If we give them the macro view, the view of how Egypt is going to be in economical crisis, if you continue to do that, people will listen.
How do you describe to them what Revolution 2.0, that generation, looks like? Where's the opportunity?
The new generation is the generation that can make Egypt a developed market in few years, and I truly believe in that. If we solve the challenges that we have right now, if we restore the trust in our economical environment, we are going to be a developed market in few years. This generation is ready to sacrifice for their country. It's not only about passion. We were all ready to die, and we were not saying it. So my message is, if you want to be part of this, if you want to be part of this amazing story of the Egyptian people, please come, please invest, please take baby steps. We're not asking everyone to pull in money to the country, but take baby steps, create jobs for the people, send the trust signal to everyone in the world that you are investing in Egypt.
So do you think though that some of those ministers or business people that were involved with the old regime should be under scrutiny right now? Some of them have had their assets frozen. Should it be forgive and forget, or should they have to pay a price?
The law of order is very critical right now. We need to make sure that anyone who did a mistake should pay for that mistake. Given that he did a mistake, this is not the time to accuse people, good people, of bad things just because they supported Hosni Mubarak. So, lots of people are saying, we need to make sure that good businessmen are not harmed. For example, Naguib Sawiris,
Oriscom.
Yeah, of course. The guy who took a stand on the 25th, risking his own business, risking his own life, and he said, "I support this revolution." That was a brave stand. This guy is a great guy. No one is gonna go after him unless there is a proof that he did something bad, which is obviously not the case. I want to tell the international community that this is not about making businessmen scared. This is about having these guys pay the price, because a lot of them were part of this crime.